Bosh, the last 3 games, 7 points, 7 points, 5 points. So even
3 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 4 rebounds.
yeah. So even with those extra touches in those other games, you still weren't doing anything with them.
The rebounds kill me more than anything else. Whatever. I understand you need to
6'11", grab some boards.
I understand you need to put the ball in the hoop to win the game. But you need to get the rebounds to get possession of the ball to be able to put the ball in the hoop. He is their big man. I saw them try to play Joel Anthony the other day. I haven't seen that guy suit up in a Miami game, and I have no idea how long. To me, that was a sign of desperation by Spoelstra saying, I need to get a big man out there. I need some height. I need some physicality. I need some weight. I need a big man.
You don't want to schlep Juwan Howard out there?
Juwan Howard doesn't even dress.
I know, I find it funny.
He just doesn't. He's their motivational speaker.
But Bosh, I mean, it's got to be a point of pride, man. You've got to just say, listen, I may not be scoring on the offensive end, but defensively, rebounding, those are things I can do, and I got to get them done for my team. They got crushed in rebounding the other night.
Yeah.
Absolutely demolished. They've been out-rebounded, I think, almost every game in this series.
They got out-rebounded 53-33 on Saturday.
20 rebound difference.
He'd also only scored 77 points on 36%
You had David
shooting.
West with 103 fever out there grabbing 14 boards. How are you only grabbing 5, Bosh?
Screw that. 14 boards by that gentleman. You have 33 as an entire team. He's 5 short of it. You know what I mean? You're talking he's right there with that halfway mark of how many rebounds they had for the most part. One individual and an entire team. Unacceptable. Rebounds, rings.
LeBron is
Very
averaging
important.
34, almost 34 and a half points per game in Game 7s. He's played in 3 of them. Believe it or not, it's the highest scoring average for anyone who's played in multiple Game 7s. And know what that stat says to me, Dave? Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh aren't touching the ball that much. Because if he's launching up enough shots to get 35 points, he's getting those points from somebody else, and ain't gonna, Wade and Bosh are gonna have to suffer the consequences. By the way, Ray Allen, I don't think I've ever seen him shoot this poorly for this long a stretch ever.
Every Celtic fan is loving it. Every single one of them.
Awful. Awful. Mike Miller, he comes in, he goes 2 for 2 from 3, lights it up, gets everybody excited, and then they don't go back to him. Take him out. He's barely playing. Get him involved in the game more. Chalmers has been awful. Haslam, I think, had a bad game. I mean, Chalmers hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been that good. George Hill's been out playing him. Now, I heard somebody out there the other day after the game say, or it might have been, I forget his name. He was talking with Stephen A., not on their show, but whatever. After the game, post-game, said they should think about taking Wade off of Paul George. Because this way it would keep him fresher for the offensive end, and this way, offensively, he could be more productive. Thing is if you take Wade off of George, who's guarding George? And they're not going to be as good defending him as Wade was. So George is going to play even better tonight.
But Wade's not even playing good guarding George.
No, but that was the point. Is they're saying part of him not playing well is because he's guarding Paul George and he's exerting so much energy on the defensive end that he doesn't have the energy he needs offensively.
No, he's just wasting his energy. George went 5 of 7 for 13 points against him on Saturday night. Compared to 1 of 4 with LeBron guarding him. I mean, it's everything in this situation points at Indiana being better.
Well,
in the important factors of a game of basketball.
For most of the series.
Yeah, in the important factors in the game of basketball, Indiana seems to just be better than Miami. The problem is, in a Game 7 like tonight, these are the games where having that ultimate superstar is pretty much your make or break point. Paul George, Roy Hibbert, they played amazing in this series. Saturday, they combined for 52 points on 56% shooting with 19 rebounds. That's an amazing stat line for two guys. To me, when I look at this series and I look at these matchups, to me, it comes across as Indiana's just hungrier, which blows my mind because the one thing I feel like I always see out of guys that win championships is there's no feeling that compares to it, and all they want to do is get that feeling again. Not say to themselves, oh, well, we've already had it. And it's almost, look, I think Miami wins tonight. I do. But if they don't win tonight, I'm not surprised. And I can almost sit here and say from what you've seen in this series, this team doesn't really deserve to go to the NBA Finals. Now, that's an opinion.
See, I would disagree. I mean, they did finish with by far the best record in the league.
Yeah. By like 10, 11 games or something like that.
They earned it. They were the best team all season long.
We're not playing this season.
They crushed Milwaukee. They handled the Bulls and everything that beat-up team could throw at them. I really look at it and say, if this team did make the NBA Finals, they deserve to be there. I'm not going to say they don't deserve it, just because Indiana took them to a Game 7. They deserve to be there. But I don't think they get there. I think the Pacers come out and win tonight. I really do. I'm going against what everybody else thinks. We heard it on a call right now. A bunch of people taking Miami.
Hell, a lot of people are taking Miami in a blowout.
Double digits. I'm taking Indiana. And I'm taking them because of their defense. And because of their play in the paint. LeBron has drove and kicked the ball out more in this series than I've ever seen him do in any other series throughout any playoffs I've watched him playing. I don't know if he's intimidated by going inside and going in on Roy Hibbert. I don't know if it's because he, afraid of getting his shot blocked or whatever, but he seems to drive and kick it out more in this series than he has in any other series I've seen him playing. If he's not going to drive and actually attack, I'm sorry. I'm taking the Pacers tonight, and I really think they can pull this one out. I think the Heat are squabbling with each other. I mean, I played it for you on the ride down. LeBron's post-game interview, to me, that I know me and you kind of had a little different view on it. To me, it was all he was saying was me, I'll fix it. I'm the team leader. I'll look at the videotape. Like, he's the coach. Like, he should be going and looking at the tape and deciding what the team needs to do and deciding who should get more touches and who doesn't.
Everything revolves around them, though.
Yeah, but Bash and Wade saying, oh, they missed chippies. Oh, yeah, well, Wade missed 2 layups here, and Bosh had a couple open looks there, and this and that. All of that is, it hurts, and then you got Bosh and Wade both sitting there saying, well, we're not getting enough touches. They're squabbling amongst each other. If you're Indiana, you got to love that. I say, let them fight with each other, because we're going to band together. I don't care who takes the shots here. Just as long as they go in. I don't care who gets the rebounds as long as we're grabbing them.
I just want to win.
I don't care who's shooting. And that's where they're all off. Bosh and Wade are like, well, we're not shooting enough. LeBron's like, well, I'll decide who shoots more and who doesn't. Indiana says, we don't care about that. We just want to win.
We play inside out.
And I like that mentality. I'm going to be that guy that takes Indiana tonight.
I don't think you're crazy. I don't. I don't think you're wrong for having that thought process. I really don't. And it's interesting,
My dad thinks Indiana's going to play nervous, by the way. He threw that in there.
And I don't think he's crazy for saying that either. And that's the thing. This is a Game 7. This is the only scenario you get in basketball where it is strictly, this is it. There is no possibility of a next game in this series. This is it. You win, you go home. the greatest line of all playoffs. You win or you go home. It's in Miami. I think that's going to have an effect on Indiana. I do, but they do believe in themselves. That would probably, if that is the most important part of all of this, is they believe they can win this game.
Now,